Tony Grossi with kind of his thoughts on the quarterback competition.
I tend to not think that it's as wide open as they say. I think they want to portray it as wide open to keep the rookies competing as hard as they can, and to get to believe that the harder you work, the closer you get to a better role. But I think in the Charles Robinson case, you can substitute any one of those four names for the very same story. There's a path for Flacco to be it. There's a path for Pickett,
and
Dylan Gabriel, but Shedeur got the headlock.
So he's referring to Charles Robinson, saying that there's a path to Shedeur being the day one starter. What are your thoughts about the quarterback competition, and who do you think the Browns would prefer win the starting job?
Honestly, I don't know how they are thinking. I think they would obviously prefer one of the younger guys to emerge and just grab the job, right? Like, it doesn't really behoove them to have Joe Flacco start a bunch of games because, as for moving forward, it's not like he's going to be your answer, right? However, the beginning of this schedule is daunting, right? So I do think that Flacco probably would be the leader in the clubhouse for me to start games early, just because he's been there before, and they kind of owe it to the veterans on this roster to certainly try to go win games. And I think that comes first and foremost. And if you lose that again, where you're playing a guy that doesn't give you the best chance to win like they did last year, if that becomes the theme again, you're going to lose this locker room. As we saw in the first 8 weeks last year, where it was evident that Watson wasn't their best chance to win. So I think that you have to do that first and foremost. However, I do think that they all have a path to start. I think the guy that for me that makes the most sense to want to start would be Shedeur Sanders. I think he has the highest ceiling. I think they took Gabriel and we like him here. They took him before Shedeur, but it wasn't in their plans to take Shedeur, right? So when you take Gabriel there in the third round, it's like, oh, hey, he might be something. At least he can be a long-term backup. But when you take Shedeur, you're taking him with the upside of, hey, he could go win this job and potentially become our long-term answer. So if you wanted anybody to jump up and grab this job, I think it would be him. It's so valuable in the NFL to have a rookie quarterback, manning your team starting, and just to have a guy on a rookie contract, it changes the way you can put players around you for 4 years. So, I think that that would be the ideal outcome. And I think that all of that is on the table at this point.